United States Customs and Border Protection Field Operations in Ogdensburg, New York. If you know your party's extension, please dial it now. Or to access the directory, press the pound key. For more options, please listen to the following. To speak to an officer, dial 1. For information on importing or U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Port of Ogdensburg, New York. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is Maren. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Not bad, ma'am. I was wondering if, well, a number of things. I have a publication outlet, and I was wondering if there's anybody authorized to speak to press about border traffic.
When it comes to the press, we don't answer questions right here on the local level. That has to go Buffalo, Dan? Yeah. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to have you talk to my supervisor, okay?
Oh, thank you very much, ma'am.
Yep, hold on.
U.S. Customs Border Protection, Supervisor Frank, help you?
Hi, my name is Maren. How are you today, sir?
Good, ma'am. And yourself?
Not bad. Even so, accompanying North America's developments for over 10 years on my independent website of abroadcom.net, I really am saddened to see that apparently U.S. Customs and Border Control, I'm sorry if I don't say this correctly.
No, you're okay.
Exactly. I mean, we're all really grateful for your service, and we know that there's lots of trafficking happening where, a border checkpoint really comes in handy. But I just want to explain real quick where I'm coming from. I grew up in West Germany, U.S. GIs protected my freedom growing up in Liberty. And I'm also a biologist and prepared PCR tests. So by now it's actually quite transparent that there is no pandemic, and there also wasn't one last year. Most people die of vitamin D3 deficiency. That is well documented. So even so, I am a member of the press, I would think, even so some enforcement units here in Canada think I'm not a real journalist. It's quite interesting what the distinction is there. My questions are as of an ordinary citizen, really. And I would like to understand with what reason the border remains closed for land traffic, as I just found out. You must understand, I mean, I'm sure you live close to the border yourself, what kind of deprivation that means for local markets and neighbors who should be trading with each other unhindered, So I'm just wondering about all of these things. And I would like to understand with what justifications the U.S. Customs and Border Controls remains in the position to close and not let pass people who are in the immediate vicinity of those postal codes. That's the most densely populated stretch in Canada. It's just like cutting a lifeline here, So these are all the questions. These are not even all the questions that I have, but
I'm going to give you a phone number to call, okay? The officer that may be able to answer some of these questions for you. Do you have a pen and paper, ma'am?
No, but I'm going to have one shortly. I was just hoping you could tell me something yourself, For Americans, it should be... It should be... No, but I'm asking you, sir. How can you obey this dictate when it doesn't have any scientific substantiation? You're an American. You don't have to obey orders that are not reasonable.
Do you have a pen and paper, ma'am? I can give you a phone number to call.
Just give me 1 second, sir.
Sure.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
If somebody is researching matters as a journalist, for example, I was wondering, how the Mohawk Reserve is doing on the other side of the river. Is that essential traffic with the press? That's another question I had. I mean, that would be a local decision, right?
Yeah, I'll give you a phone number. You can ask all these questions to that gentleman that you call.
Well, but what are your directives? If somebody comes with press and they say we need to go
Are you
because...
ready for that phone number?
Yes, sir.
716 626 6451. And if you hold the line, ma'am, I can transfer you right over.
I appreciate that, officer.
You're welcome.
Have a great day and be safe, okay?
CBP Public Affairs, Mike Dakota.
Hi, Michael. My name is Maren. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Not bad. As I just tried to explain, I'm a member of the press, but I'm also a neighbor. I have a few questions with regards to why the border remains closed.
Because that's a policy, so you need to contact DHS. They speak for the White House, so those got to go through DHS.
Are you in Buffalo?
Questions are Department of Homeland Security at the higher public affairs.
Are you in Buffalo?
You'd have to call Washington DHS.
Yes, sir. I'm sure you have a number for me, but let me just ask you too. I mean, you're an American Forces member, or is the Customs offices managed by a different unit?
So, U.S. Customs and Border Protection falls under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. We're one of the 23 agencies under them, and they send down the policy from the White House.
So that's not actually military.
Contact DHS.
That's not military, is it?
We use a kind of like a paramilitary organization. Just like your troopers, they are paramilitary, a lot of your police. So we fall under DHS. We're a component or an agency under DHS.
There's a special narcotics specialized troop patrolling the borders. I understand that. That doesn't need to be in the defense ministry, but usually military is managed to the defense ministry. Just refresh my understanding, please.
Okay, so you would have to seek out the Department of Defense press secretary for questions on the U.S. military.
Okay, excellent.
Okay?
And Customs and Border Control, as well as the narco specialized units, are managed by the Department of Homeland Security. Excellent. Okay, would you have a number for me?
Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Do you have a number for me?
Yes, this is CBP Public Affairs Officer Mike Nisgoda.
The reason why I wanted this name is because this is a gentleman who referred me to the Department of Homeland Security for all press communique, and same person also wasn't in the position to have any personal individual position on this unsubstantiated scientific dictate. Do that one more time.
Yes, this is CBP Public Affairs Officer Mike Nisgoda. Please leave a message.
Hi, Mike Nisgoda. It's Maren again from Broadcom.net. I was just wondering if you like to refer to a certain contact that you'd like me to deal with and address my concerns and my questions with at DHS Public Affairs. I'd so appreciate your lead. You won't be able to find the time probably today, but if you can, make some minutes for me. Please call me back at 613-604-5945. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. So this whole thing, I still don't know whom to talk to at the DHS, but I'm just on their website right now at dhs.gov/news. This is a press release from the 12th of October, 2021. Washington, today Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro N. Mayorkas announced that following guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and other public health experts, the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, will amend Title 19 regulations to allow non-essential travelers who have been fully vaccinated for COVID-19, which has never been isolated, according to the Koch postulates. According to the Koch postulates, this virus doesn't exist. Just on a side note, little commentary from a biologist who prepared PCR tests herself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right here to answer your questions. Okay, amend Title 19 regulations. I'd actually like to understand what that means. What is Title 19? The fact that it consists a human rights violation to ask your medical private information while you are crossing a border checkpoint. Human rights violation. Okay. And I think a lot of these agents would not ask that question. That's why they just recently decided to keep it close between Canada and the United States, which is completely illegal. It has zero scientific substantiation, but I'm going to just continue with this amendment of Title 19 to allow non-essential travelers who have been fully vaccinated for COVID-19 have appropriate documentation to enter the United States via land and ferry ports of entry, POEs, across the U.S. border. In alignment with the new international air travel system that will be implemented in November, we will begin allowing travelers from Mexico and Canada who are fully vaccinated for COVID-19 to enter the United States for non-essential purposes, including to visit friends and family and or for tourism via land and ferry border crossings, said Secretary Mayorkas. Whoa, a lot to unpack there, isn't there? It's non-essential to see your family? That really sounds like we all turned into a big yoga camp here in North America. And our overlords are telling us when it's time to have that one visit per week. I don't recognize North America. I thought this was the free world here. It really now reminds me of the time when I, as a child, was still going back and forth between East and West Germany, because I grew up in West Germany. Canadian and US GIs protected my freedom growing up in liberty. Never can I give back to that sacrifice enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we would bring truckloads of bananas, cocoa, and coffee, and dark chocolate, and all the stuff that they could never get. You know, we brought that to our family and to our relatives in Poland as well. The state has no business telling you whom to see and whom not to see. It's been wrong then. There was no reason for it to be like that. It was just a political conflict taken out on the people. And it seems like the exact same thing right now too, you know. Families can't see each other all over North America because they can't travel across the border with their own vehicle. It really seems worthy to have a look at what might be behind this unsubstantiated dictate of keeping that border closed to ordinary land travel. I mean, those bridges were built with our tax money. This is the people's border. This belongs to us. And we can use it as we please. There is no scientific justification for people not be traveling back and forth across the rivers between the United States and Canada. That's the situation, I know. It doesn't look much different to me. with a relationship with Mexico either. So again, it is shameful and treason to the North American peoples to hold them back and impede their free travel. That is what East Germany used to do. That is what Poland used to do. And that is what Russia used to do. And what today China does with the Uyghurs and many other groups that we don't even know about. And finally, it was the Hungarians who opened the border, because there were thousands and thousands of Germans from East Germany headed for the West to find their loved ones, to see their family.
3 days later, there's a second successful mass escape. 240 refugees overrun the border barriers at Sopron. It is the first indication of a future without frontiers.
To escape the, I don't know what the word is in English, but it is like a state prohibition on the job that you actually qualified for. Dissidents who couldn't publish their writings, authors, poets. Is this all but forgotten already? Those were the friends of the American enforcement units. Those were the protégés of the American enforcement units serving to keep West Germany protected. This is not even a common good anymore in North America, whose GIs died so we could all freely travel. This is the moral component of this harassment and coercion, while land travel is entitled to cross the border just like any other travel is entitled to cross the border. There's many other components to this problem. I tried to lay this out already. It's not only international law, but it is also the United States' own civil rights regulations that are grossly violated with policing civilians for their private medical status. And as Title 19 nowhere foresees that, and in my analysis, really more looks like a long list of constantly extended red tape to make trade easy for big corporations and hard for small. And in fact, determining duties of that office and how to police these regulations. Nowhere I have found any passage to policing men and women crossing that border, which is a random barrier other than having a natural impediment in form of a river, the St. Lawrence River dividing, for example, the province of Ontario and New York State. I would like to find out, really. Please call me back. Tell me what the amendment currently of Title 19 entails, so CBP and all the related agencies under DHS are able to police somebody's private medical records. Is that what you are amending it to? Is this the next amendment? I need to know. Wow. Cross-border travel creates significant economic activity in our border communities and benefits our broader economy. Here. Now that you killed it all dead? After 2 years of having it closed? I mean, on a side note, really, again, everybody should check who is the biggest landowner in North America right now and guess who is buying all these small local businesses, small and medium-sized businesses. It's everybody's best guess. The modifications to the Title 19 regulations will occur in 2 phases over the next few months. First, in November, U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) will begin allowing fully vaccinated travelers from Mexico or Canada to enter the United States at land and ferry POEs for non-essential reasons. Travelers will be required to have appropriate paperwork that provides proof of vaccination. Individuals who have not been fully vaccinated for COVID-19 will not be allowed to travel for non-essential purposes from Canada and Mexico into the United States via land and ferry points of entries, POEs. Second, beginning in early January 2022, DHS will require that all inbound foreign national travelers crossing U.S. land and or ferry points or entries, whether for essential or non-essential reasons, be fully vaccinated for COVID-19, provide related proof of vaccination. Right. I just don't believe, my commentary here again, that any Customs and Border agent will be enforcing such an egregious and obvious human rights violation while being personally liable. I mean, they're going to lose their houses over this. This approach will provide ample time for essential travel such as truckers, students, and healthcare workers to get vaccinated. This new travel system will create consistent, stringent protocols for all foreign nationals traveling to the United States, whether by air, land, or ferry, and accounts for the wide availability of COVID-19 vaccinations. Wow. Keywords, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. This is a press release on the website of the Department of Homeland Security from October 12th. All right, now it's time to call the DHS. Seeing these two things completely don't match up, there's also no new press release about this. The last one was released the 21st of October. DHS releases new strategic framework for addressing climate change. How about starting to build some buildings that don't need to be heated in the winter and cooled in the summer? Oh boy, oh boy. This is the phoniest freaking reason to spend taxpayer money that I've ever seen, I think. And it's kind of funny that I say that because my journalism facilitated the energy turnaround, what we call the energy turnaround in Germany, where we largely decentralized electricity and heat generation. Y'all gotta listen to this also. I'm sure many of you know it already. Another press release from the homepage of the Department of Homeland Security, the United States government. This one was released October 8th. Oh my God, this fly. It's just like a drone. Every time I'm trying to produce something, it's flying right over my head. The last half hour I spent chasing this fly through the house. It was never to be seen anywhere. Now that I'm talking about it, it's gone too. I know this is a government drone. I know this fly is a freaking government drone trying to impede my investigations here. Freak. Wow, man. This is like, wow. I mean, if it were, would I know? Could I tell? Oh, there it is again. It's landing on the cable to the iPad with which I'm filming all this right now. It's funny, huh? How they always do that. Yeah, great. The last fly of the season, crawling out up and down on my cable. Great, huh? Alright, I'm trying to find out who the press department contact is at the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security. I'm calling 202-282-8000, which is listed on their website.
DHS Contact Center. For U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, or questions regarding green cards or visa applications, please press 1. For Customs Protection, CBP, or questions regarding border entry requirements or the trusted travel programs, press 2. For Immigration Customs Enforcement, please wait while we transfer your call.
Welcome to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Information Center. Your call may be monitored or recorded for quality control and training purposes. You can also visit us online to view our frequently asked questions at https://help.cbp.gov, and should you still require assistance, please feel free to email your questions through https://help.cbp.gov. The Information Center is able to answer questions about traveling to or importing into the United States, with limited information on exporting from the U.S. If your question is about travel to a foreign country, please contact the customs agency of that country. You can also reach out to the embassy of that country by searching contact information at https://www.state.gov/resources-4-foreign-embassy/diplomatic-list/. If you are a U.S. citizen overseas and need assistance, please contact your local U.S. embassy or consulate, or if you are experiencing a crisis overseas, please call the U.S. Department of State 24/7 U.S. Citizen Emergency Hotline at 202-501-4444 or 888-407-4747. For English, press 1. Gracias por llamar al Centro de Información para la Situación Fronteriza de los Estados. For the most current information about the coronavirus and its impact on travel, health, and other activities, please visit coronavirus.gov or cdc.gov. You can also contact the CDC toll-free number at 1-800-232-4333 to send an email.
Okay. Try that again. Trying to call the Office of Civil Liberties at DHS, independent agency for human rights violations or civil rights complaints. No answer so far, except for they are experiencing a high volume of calls lately. Surprise, surprise. Well, I'd be calling too. Okay, no answer. At the Office for Civil Rights Complaints at DHS. That's bad. Was that it? Wow. I'm just trying to find a press contact. Is there not one person at DHS who would be available and on staff to talk to a member of the press? Come on! United States of America, is there anything left of that? Just... Also here, somebody seems to be experiencing a fairly high volume of calls.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 20257907118 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
I have a few questions, actually for CBP and DHS, as it turns out. I would like to find out what Title 19 is, because apparently there is some amending necessary in order for CBP agents to commit human rights violations while processing land travel between Canada and the United States. Not sure how this is being handled with Mexico. What I noticed is that according to a source in CBP in New York State, land travel for non-essential is further impossible until January 2022, despite the recent press release from October 12th, I think it was, by Secretary Alessandro Mayorkas, that in fact the border with Canada and Mexico would be open to non-essential land travel for people fully vaccinated against COVID-19. As I always say, a virus that, according to the Koch postulates, does not exist. But I'm just a biologist, so that's why I'm allowing myself to comment on that even. It'd be just fantastic if you called me back at 613-604-5945. I would really like to understand, again, how it is that we have these two conflicting statements. CBP border agents would violate a number of laws, not only human rights violations. These are US laws as well. And maybe you want to
been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 20257907118 is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Different number.
When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yes, Maren here again from abroadcom.net. I had some other questions too. And that is, for example, is press considered essential travel? I realize I'm probably completely at the wrong address, but I'm unable to determine a press contact or public relations outlet at DHS nor CBP. So even so, I thought in the free nation of the United States of America, public relations had a priority. I am unable to understand who is in charge of talking to me and taking my questions at both of these agencies. It would be just too sweet if you be able to refer somebody at either agency who is authorized and hopefully informative and has some integrity to speak to the press. Here is Maren at abroadcom.net. please call me back at 613-604-5945, or you can also call 513-278-2833. Thank you all very much. Thank you.